Hi everyone, it's Brian from McDuff's Cool Stuff, and today I'm going to show you some things that sold in the month of August. Hopefully this will give you some ideas for things that you can look for when you're out thrifting or maybe shopping at garage sales and estate sales and things like that. So let's take a look at what sold. All right, here are all my items that sold. Some of them have not been shipped out. But first up was a video game. If you can find video games, you do have to research them. A lot of games like Xbox 360, they don't normally go for a whole lot of money. In fact, this one only sold for $8.95 plus shipping. Sometimes I get things that are in large groups, and I list them anyway, even though it's only making me a few dollars. So this one netted me about $8.95. I didn't really pay anything for this game. I probably found in a storage locker that I bought. Same thing with this pocket knife. This is a NRA branded pocket knife. I'm not a supporter, but it sold for $15, and it looks like I paid for the shipping on that one. This was a thrift store find. I've never sold one of these before. It's a vintage hair dryer. It just sold today, in fact. It's a GE. It works. Everything works great. It's still, the heating element still gets hot. The little bonnet is in there that you put this cap on your head and it blows hot air into it and it dries your hair so you can put curlers over it and all that kind of thing. So I remember my mom had one of similar looking one. It was a different style, but it was a similar kind of idea. So if you find vintage items, especially those items from the 60s and 70s, even just regular appliance kinds of things like this, they can sell really well. I paid $4.95 for it. It sold for $30. This is something I got in a large group of Legos. They were in boxes, but the boxes, I mean, they were boxes, they were in like those cards with the plastic cover on them. And none of them, they're all been opened up and played with, and they put them back inside thinking, oh, see, they're still in the package, but they weren't. But this is from Star Wars Attack of the Clones. It's a Republic Guard, $12. It sold plus shipping. This also from the same lot. I bought, it had a whole bunch of Barbie kinds of clothes. This one is from a doll called Dawn, and the Gala Go-Go, it's actually a dress. It's hard to tell. I thought it was a little purse at first, but it's actually a dress. That sold for $13.50 plus shipping on that. So that actually sold for more than Mr. Star Wars and the video game up there. So size here in this case, this is a very small item, very easy to ship. Shipping is relatively expensive. Next up is a Detroit Tigers snapback baseball hat. Is in a very good condition. This came in a large box of hats that I bought at an auction. It sold for $15. I bought the whole lot of hats for $10 or $12 from the auction, so they're like 15 hats in there, and luckily there were a couple of good ones. Some of them really weren't worth anything, but that one easily paid for the whole thing, plus all the other ones they sold from that lot. It was a really good deal to pick up. Also, these, I picked up a large lot of mini DV. These are minus R discs. Any of these mini discs that are recordable for the older types of camcorders, they do sell. These sell very quickly. I sell a couple of these every week. I bought a large box one from a garage sale. The box cost me $20. That put me at something like per disc, like each individual disc, it put me at something like 18 or 19 cents a disc. So I sold this pack here for $14.95 plus shipping. And so it's almost all profit on that one. Didn't hardly cost me anything. Here's a Lego Duplo toy from Toy Story. The little guys that were stuck in the crane machine. I remember that. That sold for $10 plus shipping. Once again, it came in a large lot. One of the not so interesting things to sell, at least for me, are appliance parts. Sometimes I will buy an appliance. If you've seen my other videos, you probably have heard me say this before. selling the appliance parts, like taking the three different parts apart of the popcorn maker, will sell more than if you just sold the whole thing at once. Hard to explain why that actually happens, but a lot of times this part will break and people need a replacement for it. This one did not come with the little butter cup here. And this little cup, you actually put the butter in. If you don't have it on there, the popcorn just pops right out of the top. So you have to have that on there. But so you have to make sure for something like this, you list that has no butter cup or no top on it, something like that. So people know they probably have it. They lost this part, I imagine, or it's cracked or something like that. This is another part from that same Barbie lot. This is a golden glitter purse. This little purse sold for $12. Ships for very, very little money because it's so light. It's not even an ounce. An ounce is the lowest amount that you can ship a package. So this is also from that same lot. Minnesota Vikings hat. I live near Detroit, so I'm sure this is not going to be going. It's probably going to Minnesota or something like that. Actually, they already got it. They're in Minnesota, I believe. That sold for $13.50. I was lucky enough to get these in a lot. I can't remember exactly where I got them from, but these are some old, they're called Vacron Bop coffee mugs. They're still in the plastic package, and they're sealed, so I couldn't open them up. But people that are looking for them, they know exactly what they are. And the set of 4 of those was $39.95, so like $10 a mug. I've had this wrench, I think, for a couple of years. It's a snap-on combination wrench. Snap-on wrenches always sell really well, but for some reason, maybe it's just a size they really didn't need. It's a 3/4 inch. It should be a pretty common size. Sold for $14 just for that one. Here's a radio I picked up, and I just picked it up a couple weeks ago, actually, at an estate sale for, I think it was $3. It's a weather radio. It's AM, FM, still sounded good. Actually had batteries in it, too, so I didn't have to buy any batteries or anything to test it out. It sold for $18. Not a huge amount of profit there, maybe about, after fees, probably about $10, $11. But this is mostly a month of very low-priced items. My total for the month was just over $1,000. Wasn't great, but generally speaking, summer, at least for me, is usually generally pretty slow. I just bought a whole bunch of new things to sell, and hopefully those will bring up my monthly sales totals a little bit better than they have been this month. Here's another hat from the Great Smoky Mountains. That came in a lot of that same hats were the other ones I was showing you here. That sold for only $10, but I barely paid like 50 cents for each one, so it wasn't bad. This one, you see it's on here twice because I had to cancel this order because they had the buyer, the purchaser didn't have their correct address in there in eBay's on their account, so we had to cancel the order. Then they had to buy it again. But this camera I bought for $6-7 at an estate sale, and it's a film camera. Sold for $34 plus shipping. This I didn't pay anything for. This is a Department 56. This would be a Christmas display, probably for the Dickens Village or something like that. Yep, so right there, Dickens Village. That sold for $15 for the group of those. Here's a book that I picked up in an abandoned storage locker. It's Tattooing A to Z. It's in pretty good shape. I think there's a rip on the back cover. It's the second printing. I think they only did 2 of them, but that book alone sold for $49. This is probably one of the higher priced books that I've sold this year. I've sold a couple more for a lot more than this, but $49, that's pretty good for one single book on tattooing. It's not even all that big, but it's a rare book. That's the issue. There weren't a lot of them printed. Here's a toy that was in good shape. It was open, but it's still sealed up there and everything. It's Billy Blaze's Rescue Hero. He sold for $15 plus shipping. And here's some more of these DVDs. They also This was a 3-pack of DVD, or 5-pack, I'm sorry, of DVD minus our disc for a camcorder. Those sold for $37 because they bought 2 of them. And that's really great because in the shipping, I actually made a little bit of money on the shipping on that one. Here's a book on turquoise treasures, jewelry book, and it sold for $9.95 plus shipping. Here's a Playboy magazine from October 1971. Yeah, 1971. That sold $10. That's pretty average price for most Playboys is $10 plus shipping. You know, I bought a huge box of these for $20 from the same garage sale that I bought the DVDs from. And so I got these for, I don't know, like 30 cents, 40 cents each. So it was, I mean, it's a pretty good buy, but they're a slow sell. So if you see these, you just have to remember they're not going to sell quickly, but they're steady. You just sell a couple of those a month. And then here is a Samsung Galaxy phone. I don't know why I've been sitting on this phone forever. I've been sitting on this phone for over a year. It sold for $49. It's just been sitting on my shipping table for years, and I said, oh, maybe I didn't think it really worked or anything. I plugged in, it worked fine. You know, it was still, you know, I didn't hook up to my internet or anything like that, but it was, you know, everything functioned great on it. It sounded good. Sold for $49 like a couple days. I don't know why I didn't sell it earlier. Probably could have gotten more if I was sold it last year. This has been a slightly newer phone. From a garage sale, I had bought 3 of these skateboard decks. And the skateboard decks, I've sold 3 of them already. This is the last one, I believe. Well, there's another one down there, but those sold for $54. I bought 3 of them. They cost me $15 each. So they paid $54 plus shipping on that. Shipping long items can be more expensive. You see this one is 32 inches long. You have to find some creative ways of shipping and boxing them. All right, let's move down since we already did the skateboard deck. Here's some Barbie blue denim shorts. Those sold for $9. Oh boy. This bag I've been sitting on for a long time. It's a Pepsi duffel bag. Sold for only $15.30 plus shipping. Next up is a 1937 Dickens David Copperfield book. These were sold. Well, they're part of a set. I don't know how they were sold originally, but they're part of a set. This one book was $17, which is not too bad for old books. And here's a French beaded purse. I bought these. They were in a lot at an auction, and I got the whole lot for $5. No one really wanted them. This one sold for $20, and I have a couple more. I think it came in 3 in there, so that was still pretty good. That paid for everything plus some profit there. And then here's 2 games for the TI 994A, which is an early home computer system that also used cartridges. And I'll just show you one of them here. Here's the game. Oh, that one's called Tombstone City. And one here is called The Attack. Those sold for a total of $21. Once again, I paid very little for those as well. And then here's another those skateboard decks. Well, I hope this gave you some ideas for things to look for when you go out sourcing, shopping, garage sales, estate sales, all that kind of thing, rummage sales. The monthly total I have so far is only $1,029. It wasn't really a great month, and I was on vacation and things like that, so it kind of slows things down. But I have a whole bunch of new things to list. I'm going to be taking them to a flea market first, and then whatever's left over, I'm going to bring back and put on eBay and hopefully sell those for a profit. If you have any questions or any comments, please leave them below. I always answer my questions and comments, and I really appreciate you watching. And I hope to see you again very, very soon.